Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays FTL. Now, it's been kind of dark times in the world of Northernlion Plays FTL. I've heard your cries, rest assured, that I need to upgrade and focus on my engine power a little bit more. I apologize, people have been saying, like, are you deliberately not reading comments? Well, no, I've actually just basically been traveling for the past 2 weeks, which makes it difficult. But in any case, we're going to focus way more on our engines here as we get started. I'm going to use the Kestrel, because that is the ship that I know most well, and we're going to move Felicity into shields, and Ma Fan into our weapons room here. It's getting a little bit framey as usual, but there's not much we can do about that for now. So I'm just going to jump down and around here, and we're going to see what we can get. So I feel I'm just going to scrap some of the debris to start with. That's going to give us enough for our first doors upgrade. I think what I'm going to do is level 1 doors, or sorry, level 2 doors, which I just got. Then we'll get level 2 shields, and then if we don't have any other weapons, I'll focus on upgrading my engines. So I think we should attack the automated ship to get to the storage cache, or cache. We definitely want to have these ready to charge up. They do have a bomb as well as a burst laser. I don't want to use Artemis here. We should turn auto fire on and then maybe go straight for their weapons. Should get cloaking out of the way as well, but we want to just basically take their weapons offline first, because if those go offline, then they have nothing that they can do to us. So we'll fire our burst laser in here next, and having taken out their cloaking device, they should have no recourse for survival here. So the doors should be fixed any second now. So we'll send Felicity back in here, and then fire our burst laser in on the enemy cloaking device, and that was easy enough. So hopefully we get the map now, which is usually what we get for killing the ship. Well, we actually got a fire beam as well as like 21 scrap overall, which is a little unusual. Do we... Okay, we don't have a map, but do we want to use this fire beam? That's a real question. I've never really used it before, and it's fairly cheap in terms of power requirements, so maybe we'll prioritize weapons before engines. I do not want to trade 4 missiles for 4 fuel. That is a terrible deal. But let's just keep moving in and on throughout here. Good Sector 1 so far. We've already picked up another weapon. So let's use let's aid the Federation ship here. And we're going to be fighting a ship that looks fairly strong, but hopefully its bark is worse than its bite. It has a hull laser as well as a missile launcher. So obviously we're going to Artemis on weapons first off, and probably burst laser on... well, we'll see if the Artemis lands first, I guess. It missed! Fantastic! So we'll fire in some lasers to take the missile launcher offline, switch to Ma Fan here, and we're going to send him into the oxygen room. Artemis probably doesn't need to fire again. Instead we can just fire burst laser, because I really don't want to waste any more time or waste any more missiles, really, firing weapons if it's not absolutely necessary. So burst laser is going to come in here. Again, we're going to need to continue focusing on the weapons here. This is the frustrating part. I want to use the missiles because it's going to make the fight so much faster, but I don't want to use the missiles because obviously we're going to need those a little bit later. So let's send burst laser in here. And now with weapons completely... weapons completely offline briefly anyway. We'll wait for burst laser to charge up again. And it should be done any second now. If we can get weapons to stay in the red, then we can focus on enemy shields or even something like enemy oxygen. And either way, that would help us out a great deal here. But first, we're going to go for shields, because if shields go down, then our next shot is guaranteed going to get a kill. Unless we absolutely miss every single shot when it comes to our burst laser there. So I'm thinking that fire beam, as we reprioritize and go back to weapons here, fire beam is going to be important because it's going to like wreak havoc on their ship, and if we can start a bunch of fires in rooms where it's going to create a lot of problems for them, that would be fantastic. But we'll see if we can't just finish this fight first, because this is taking 5 minutes in its own right, which is craziness. But if we hit all 3 here, there we go, the ship finally goes down. And we're going to contact the Federation ship. We get a quest marker. I can inform you of a hidden Federation base nearby. Perhaps they can assist you more. Okay, so we do have that quest marker over there. Let's get to that as soon as we can. I may upgrade our weapon systems in a second. I think we should intervene to defend the outpost. I was just doing it because they didn't have a drone control unit. So I'm going to fire an Artemis on weapons, and then I'm going to not fire burst lasers until I know that that Artemis on weapons is actually hit. So let's see. So Artemis is going to go by. Here we go. Oh! All we've got is Artemis, sadly, because now there's a fire in this room. So let's send everybody in here to get this fire out as soon as possible. We're going to send another Artemis in on shields, just in case. And then we're going to stop firing it, because we really can't afford to use any more missiles. And we're going to power up our burst laser. Actually, you know what? Why not power up fire beam while we're here? Because it's going to take 100 years. That's a good answer. Let's go with burst laser instead. That was an inefficient use of our time. That's okay. That's going to happen from time to time. Burst Laser should definitely go on weapons next, and provided they don't get their shields back online, this should be able to tear through them pretty easily. All three, oh, 2 of 3 shots landed. Again, I apologize for that frame rate, but rest assured, Northernlion Inc. is working on that right now. We might as well keep Artemis powered up. We're not going to use it just yet, but we'll keep it powered up just in case. Oh my god, maybe we will use it soon. Because these fights are taking way too darn long. I apologize for the strong language there. I didn't want to offend anybody if you've got kids watching, but, you know, what can I say? Sometimes when I get riled up, my feelings get hurt like that. So we're going to go again on the weapons here. It's going to take forever. This is why maybe before getting a second bar of shields, it might be a good idea to get that second weapon up. And it doesn't really matter where we fire this next shot. So I'm just going to aim for oxygen, because I feel like when you aim for the enemy oxygen, you're like being a dick, and when your dick quotient is high, you're more likely to succeed. That's the kind of universe that FTL rewards you in. So we're going to get 15 extra scrap, another 12 scrap, and we got a lot of fuel out of that as well. So with 66 scrap, we could upgrade our shields. I probably will, as much as I've, you know, talked about upgrading weapons before shields. I think we're going to go for shields first. We probably should have done it before we even got here. But this automated scout does not have a cloaking device. So assuming we actually are able to take out the enemy weapons, we should be able to get out of here without taking too much damage. And hopefully without the frame rate sinking below like 15. We'll see. We'll get this burst laser to come in here. And with enemy weapons completely out, they have basically no chance for survival here. So let's just fire our burst laser at the engines. They're probably going to die to an asteroid before, yeah, anything else happens. And hopefully we'll pick up some scrap as a result of this. We're going to get 12 extra scrap. This is the part that I hate, because we actually have to wait for the asteroid field to let us charge our engines, but that's okay. In the meantime, we can just send Ma Fan in here to get fixed in the medical bay. Health is slowly going up here. And then we will send him back to the weapons room, and we are almost ready to leave here. Almost. So let us now jump to... We might as well go to this quest beacon, I guess. I don't think there's anything really stopping us there. So we get an anti-personnel drone as well as 19 extra scrap. Now with 97, we should definitely get that done. So now we have an extra bar of shields. We'll focus on weapons next, and then engines. I promise. Again, your complaints have not fallen on deaf ears. I understand the importance of engines now. Well, now we have 2 shield bars going into this asteroid field, which is really good, and we're definitely going to want to use an Artemis here. So we're going to drop Artemis on their weapons, and we're going to wait to fire Burst Laser to see if Artemis actually lands. And that could take longer than expected. Here we go. Does Artemis land? Artemis does land, but we lost our Burst Laser there. So I feel like we can drop Artemis on their shields, and then they're going to be pretty much screwed because the asteroids will be able to take them out, and then we'll stop firing missiles. And we'll charge up our Burst Laser instead. Oh, here come... Oh, Artemis on shields. Thank you. Don't miss. Don't... Excellent. Okay, they've surrendered. I'm going to take it just because I'm kind of worried about the rest of this engagement here, and we're just going to move Felicity back into our shields room. She's going to stutter like she's doing some kind of weird dubstep dance or something. Clearly, I am hip with all the modern pop culture trends. And as our FTL drive slowly inches towards completion here, or readiness, we will now jump to our exit beacon. This has been a fairly good first sector. Especially if we can get like one more barrage of scrap here. Well, we can repair damage, but you know, why not? It's only 10 scrap to get us back to full health. And then I think we're going to want to jump to... Ooh, man, we got a lot of red beacons here. I think we'll go rock-controlled sector just because there was one green circle. That might give us an out if things get too difficult here. So, let's begin our second sector here. Everything's going reasonably well. Oh my god, can we get more asteroid fields, please? I'm not sure my frame rate is suffering enough. So we're going to drop an Artemis in on their shield bay. The reason I'm doing that instead of weapons is because they do only have 2 lasers. They can still do damage with 2 lasers because my shields will be vulnerable from asteroids. However... Oh, that worked out fine. But then an asteroid hit us, but that's okay. It's just going to start a fire in here. Then we'll use Burst Laser on their weapons, and they should pretty much be defenseless here. They're going to try to surrender, but, you know, 10 scrap and 3 missiles is not really worth it. Especially when they are so clearly absolutely screwed here. So I'm thinking we are going to just take out oxygen next, and, you know, this will impair their ability to repair. We should actually probably go for engines as well, just in case they somehow manage to repair their piloting system and get away. But really, we're just waiting for another asteroid to crash into them. and end their lives, which is what just happened there. So please, more than 3 missiles or more than 10 scrap. Well, we got 1 missile and 17 scrap. It's fair trade, I would say. We're going to close all of our doors here because we did have some oxygen leaking out. And please, just for a little while, no more asteroid fields, please. I think I've gotten enough of my rock fill today. You guys remember in Flight of the Conchords when Murray had that poster on his wall that just said New Zealand rocks, and it's a picture of rocks from New Zealand? Great show. I thought we just jumped to another asteroid field, and I was pissed. Okay, so we stumble across a rock ship. Looks like this is pretty much the same as the other one, except it's got a bomb. We're going to need to buy some missiles for sure, but first things first, we're going to drop an Artemis on their weapon systems because we really can't afford for them to get more than 1 shot off. I could probably get by not using so many of my missiles in the early game here, but I think it helps me out a little bit, so I'm going to do so. They're completely out of shields now. Why don't we go for their engine system next, so they can't get away, and they shouldn't be able to dodge either. Now, if we had Fire Beam, this is when we could just, like, completely cut through them. Next, we'll go for oxygen systems, but it doesn't really matter, because with 0 chance to dodge, actually, we should probably go for shields, because they might get those back online. But with 0 chance to dodge, all 3 of these lasers should hit. But they do have rock plating, so they resisted it a little bit. And we'll just fire 1 more burst laser in, which should be enough to get the kill here. I'm hoping, anyway. We just wait. There we go. I hate rock plating, because even if you like take their chance to evade down to 0, you can still find yourself screwed sometimes. So we're going to get 1 level in weapons. This means that if I turn off Artemis after I take down enemy shields, I can use the Fire Beam and Burst Laser in conjunction with one another. We're just going to jump out to this beacon, because I would love to get another little bit of power to use with my reactor. We got nothing here, sadly. I do want to go to the store, but I don't want to buy anything from the store yet, obviously, because I only have 10 scrap. But we'll see what they have to offer anyway. Defense drones and a drone control unit. I would love to buy a drone control unit. However, we certainly don't have the scrap right now to make that worthwhile. But drone control unit's very valuable, of course. And again, this is where we enter parts of the game that I don't really enjoy, where we continue jumping from beacon to beacon, but we don't actually get anything done. I don't need to buy any fuel. So that's like 3 beacons we've just gone to that have basically been completely wasted for us. We're going to aid the civilian ship here just because it's going to allow us to hopefully get something. This is a big ship. And we're actually going to depower Artemis and power up the Fire Beam by depowering Medbay. Beautiful. So what I'm thinking here is we'll burst laser on shields. We're going to wait until the Fire Beam is basically ready, though. Then we're going to burst laser on shields. Actually, we shouldn't wait until the Fire Beam is ready because I think we can fire the burst laser like twice before Fire Beam's going to be ready anyway. Oh man, so our medical bay is hurt. We'll send him in here to, or her in here to figure that out as everything slowly gets charged here. Enemy shields are down, so we're going to see how far this Fire Beam can stretch. Obviously, we want to hit as much as possible. If we can start this fire in the oxygen room, I would love it a little bit more. Okay, here we go. So there's the Fire Beam. I imagine that is going to cause some problems for them. And we are not going to... Oh, there comes some damage from a beam, but it's no big deal. To be honest with you, we probably don't really need to use Fire Beam anymore, but why not? We've already got it ready. We should take a shot on the enemy weapon systems here, which we did manage to take out before they got too many shots off. Here comes another shot on the Fire Beam, and you can see that the fire is just tearing through them here. But they did manage to get their shields back up. But I took out their oxygen room with the fire, so, you know, their long-term chances for success are pretty low, especially considering that they're now dead. We get 20 extra scrap, another 13 scrap on top of that. We can't quite get that next level of weapon power, but we can get some reactor power, which is good because we can keep our medbay powered up, but we don't really need to right now. So where we will put that power right now is in the engines to give us that 5% extra dodge chance. And I guess we'll jump to this beacon because I don't want to get too far away from the exit. In terms of like scrap yield, this has not been a great floor to get, or a great sector. We did get 11 extra scrap there. And actually, if we jump to this store, which I think we'll be able to do and still get to the exit, we can sell those drones that we've been picking up. Now, how do I want to do this? This is a really good question. I think we'll burst laser weapons. They're probably going to get a missile off. But if burst laser weapons, then burst laser shields, or we can burst laser weapons, then fire beam when the shields are down on that second shot. We'll see. Anyway, our shields are substantially hurt now. We only have 1 bar, but that's okay. We'll send Ma Fan in here to take care of it. Fire beam is not ready yet. We need to fire... Oh my god, come on. Okay, well now we need you to come in here and fix the oxygen for sure. Now, with shields down, this is when we're going to use fire beam. So we're going to just rake that like so. And hopefully... Oh, their shields are coming back up. At least we got a little bit out of it. Not a lot, but enough, I think. And now we can burst laser on shields, and fire beam can go off for a second. And if we actually manage to get their shields completely down, then fire beam is just going to tear them apart. Fantastic. So we'll have another burst laser come in on the oxygen system, actually on the piloting system, just to keep them hurt. And then we'll try to start a fire in as many rooms as we possibly can. So I imagine that's going to be a pain in the ass for them. And now we will go on the... Well, we should probably send burst laser on the shield system, but I imagine... Oh, shield system's already out anyway. Doesn't really matter where we shoot, because any shot from now on will now get the kill. Beautiful, so that's 24 extra scrap. We're going to jump to the store, and we should, like I said, still be able to jump to the exit here. I want to get just enough reactor power up. We're going to sell both of these. Just enough reactor power up to have all the weapons going at the same time, and then I'm going to invest in the engines. Trust me, I'm a man of my word. There we go. So we at least put one more into the engines. We can't really make good use of that yet, but there we go. Okay, so we're going to jump here, and we're really cutting it close here. This is by the skin of our teeth, but, you know, you got to do what you got to do. So now that we're here, we're going to jump to this exit over here. And we will prioritize a third bar of shields as well, but again, I want to get this engine power up. So we'll go NG Homeworlds, which should be a little bit easier. Now, how's our fuel situation looking? Adequate right now. Not great, but adequate. And how's our missile situation? Again, adequate, but not great. But now that we have 3 weapons, can relax a little bit on the missile situation. So we're going to explore the asteroid field. We got 5 fuel for that. That is an ample reward. Adequate in my mind for sure. We're going to see what else we get here. Mercenary ship to aid him. Yes, we will respond. I guess we're just going to accept, and we're going to get a quest marker, which is going to be all the way at the end. So actually, we should probably rush now, because we're going to have the rebel fleet coming at us soon enough. There's 17 extra scrap, as well as another drone that we might sell or might keep if we eventually get to a drone control unit, which could be possible. But again, we're just basically going through this sector as fast as we can to get to that quest beacon. An NG ship, seeing you jump in armed to the teeth, immediately broadcasts its surrender. NG motivation survival, transfer of goods acceptable. Let's explain that we're friendly. Oh my god, I thought they were going to give us something. Sometimes altruism is rewarded in this game, and sometimes just makes you feel like a big dummy. So I could have just accepted their surrender and probably picked up some extra scrap. Oh well. We're going to reject this offer from this Zoltan bomber here. I'm not happy about it, because I would have rather paid like 13 scrap or whatever they asked, but unfortunately I just didn't have it. So we're going to burst laser on shields. We're going to get a fire beam set up. And we kind of want to go like this, I feel. Because we really want to hit oxygen, because then they're like fire prevention, or they can't really fight the fires very well, is what I meant to say there. But we're going to take out this energy shield as soon as possible. And then we might drop, once the energy shield is down, we might drop an Artemis on their weapon systems. Oh my god, what is going on with this? Yes, now I think it's safe. Actually, we might want to drop it on the shield systems. Because then when shields are down, burst laser is going to be that much more effective. So we're going to turn Artemis off. Well, at least turn the auto-firing off. And we're going to burst laser on shields. Again, we want shields to be completely out so that the fire beam can do maximum damage. So we're just going to wait here. Burst laser is about to fire. And it's not going to quite take out the enemy. I just turned off fire beam for a second because I didn't want it to fire just yet. Shields are not quite out, so we do want to wait just until this burst laser fires next. Apparently they're incapable of doing damage to us, which is good. Well, more or less incapable. And again, their shields are still up, which boggles my mind. I'm very tempted to use an Artemis, but I'm not going to. And these guys don't look like they're trying to escape, really, so I don't feel the need... Oh, we should really put this guy back in our weapons room. So I don't really feel the need to, like, go after engines or anything like that. Now, with shields finally... Oh my god, they're not even totally out. We're just gonna burst laser them to death, I guess, because their shields come back online so fast that we can't even really use the fire beam. So let's just wait. As burst laser Mark 1 comes in here, they're gonna surrender and give us 8 missiles, which is absolutely worth taking. And with 28 scrap, we probably do want to invest 1 more in reactor power to get our medbay going again. But apart from that, we're just going to jump because we want to get to this quest beacon as soon as possible. Okay, so we do have a Mantis ship. We're going to attempt to remain concealed, but they didn't fall for our elaborate ruse there. So they're probably going to board us. This is the first boarding we've had, which is pretty remarkable. And they're unfortunately going to board us in a fairly safe location for them. So we're just going to fall back into the shield room. Let's talk about weapons. We want to fire Artemis on shields, I think, and then we'll talk about what else is going to happen after that. So we're just going to fall back to the shields room, and the reason I did that is so I can open up all these and just suck all the oxygen out of this place and hopefully screw these mantises over. Although if they take out my door system, I might be the one who actually ends up screwed. So here comes the Artemis. And every time I say Artemis, I feel like I'm watching Wild Wild West or something. Because that is the name of the villain, if I remember correctly. Now, Fire Beam is good to go, unless this missile hits us in our weapon area. So we're gonna try something like this. Again, the more fires we start, the better. Don't hit us in the weapon. Okay, it hit our piloting system. Awesome. So all we have is like a crazy fire going everywhere this way. But for now, we've got some fire set for them. Artemis should not be firing anymore. But I did waste one missile there. And their shields are completely down. Now we've absolutely got to take out weapons. I don't know why I didn't do that sooner. Because they're going to have some more missile launchers to fire in here. They're going to go for our oxygen. We've absolutely got to get that fixed. First laser is about to come in on enemy weapons, though, which is good for us. And they're all dead. I think they teleported back just before they died, too, which was a silly decision on their part. So we're going to close everything up here. Send Turing back in here. You can come back here, and we'll fix up these sensors. And I think everyone could use a little bit of time in the medbay, too. Is this guy going to die? No, he's going to be fine. Yeah, everyone could use a little healing in the medbay. And the ship's back to normal. So far it's actually going fairly well. I'm not sure how this evasion chance is helping me out, but it might be doing a... You know, it's one of those things where, in the heat of the moment, it's easy to miss when, like, the missiles are actually missing you. It's one of those things that doesn't... It's not like a weapon. It doesn't have a very obvious, tangible effect, but it can have an actual, you know, noted effect. So here we go. You managed to discern the ship's intended destination. We get 26 scrap, a missile, and a drone part. Take the cargo and head to its original destination in search of a reward, or take the cargo for yourself. Let's take it for ourselves. I've never done that one. So we get another quest marker. Food and medical supplies, nothing you need right now. Okay, so we can now just continue to drop it off for payment anyway. Oh, and this is the original destination right here. It was like less than a picometer away. So we get 29 scrap and an anti-ship drone. We're just going to jump into the exit here because we're going to have to leave this sector soon anyway. And we're probably going to go for third bar of shields next. I think we should indeed purchase 6 fuel for 12 scrap. And let's just upgrade our ship. So we need 100 actually. Maybe we won't upgrade our ship just yet. We could, of course, upgrade engines. I'm thinking first thing first, we're going to go to the store and we're going to try to sell these drones. And hopefully the Rebel fleet doesn't catch up to me. We can't even buy a drone control unit here, so I don't feel bad about selling these drones. Although Defense 2 drone is really good. So it's going to take us to 133. That's going to allow us... Oh, goddamn. We are going to have to fight one of the Rebel ships here. That was silly of me. But we should be able to take it down, even though it is fairly strong here. We're going to drop... Oh, they have 2 strong lasers. We're going to drop Artemis on the shield room, first of all. They're only going to send one guy in after us, which I think is going to be their downfall here. I don't think they'll be able to take out one of our weapons before the lack of oxygen gets to this guy. So we're just going to hope that our Artemis lands on shields well and good here. Fantastic. Then we're going to burst laser on shields. We're just going to take this guy back to the medbay. We missed a little bit too much with our burst laser on shields, I feel. So we're going to wait for Artemis to fire on shields, which it should be doing any second now. Again, my most sincere apologies for this frame rate issue, but the upgrades for the computer have been ordered and will be here soon. First things first, let's not auto-fire Artemis anymore, because we've got a good opening here. And then we're going to drop Fire Beam on oxygen, shields, and weapons. This should work. Also hits engines, which will keep them from getting away. Not that I think they necessarily want to get away, but if they did, this would stop them. So we really need to open this door to get the oxygen out of here. Actually, we could probably just, as shields are now fixed, send people in here to fight this dude. Should be easy enough. And again, burst laser is going to be firing any second now. But we really need to take out their weapons. That was stupid of me to not go for their weapons right off the bat. But now their weapons are basically completely offline. They only have one laser left that can't really do too much. And Fire Beam might actually tear them apart again here. Yeah, it looks like oxygen and weapons have been basically completely screwed. And and they are going to be completely dead. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Excellent. So we're going to pick up 1 fuel as a result of that, but mostly I'm just happy to be able to jump to the next sector. But first things first, let's get this 3rd bar of shields going, as well as another bar of reactor power. Felicity should probably go into the med bay. Everyone else is reasonably healthy. And now we depower the med bay once she's healed, and that'll give us our 3rd bar of shields after only the 3rd sector. So this is going fairly well so far. I feel like we might be in the, you know, in the running for a long run here. That was probably one of the most awkward sentences I've ever said in my entire life. Anyway, let's get out here. We do need to repair our hull a little bit, if at all possible. So we're gonna aid the civilian ship here. I immediately regret that decision. They have a big missile launcher, a beam weapon, and a laser. Remember what I said about probably being in the cards for a long run? I don't know if that's the case anymore. We're definitely going to want to drop this like so. Maybe like that'll do. Doesn't hit oxygen, but that's okay. We might even use an Artemis to try to take down their energy shield a little bit faster. Oh, it missed. Oh, maybe it didn't miss. Maybe it actually did take down their energy shield. Their missile launcher hit a systemless room, which probably did more damage to us, because I'm imagining it's like a hull missile. But that's important anyway. And we are going to send Artemis and Burst Laser all on shields. Oh, come on. How did you miss that? I really can't afford to have too many more misses like that. So we're just going to not depower, but turn off the auto fire on the fire beam for now. And actually, we're going to turn it off for Burst Laser too. We might actually die here. Okay, so we've landed one there, and we really need to land this Burst Laser. Oh my god, it actually worked. Okay. Now, we can't use the fire beam just yet. We want to use one more Artemis. We've got another missile coming. Okay, their shields are completely down. Now we fire beam. Like so. And their missile actually missed, which is great for us. We can stop firing Artemis probably. And just go straight for their weapons. Again, I've been prioritizing shields over weapons here, and I think that's a bad decision. Might be a smart idea to actually fire Artemis on weapons as soon as possible. They did manage to get one more missile off because I didn't do that. And it hit our oxygen room and did a lot of hull damage, actually. Oh, and there's a fire in there. Okay. Well, they patched up with some of our hull damage, which is good. But really, we've got to send everybody in here to fight this fire and get this oxygen room fixed as fast as possible. Otherwise, we could find ourselves basically in limbo where we can't actually do anything about the lack of oxygen because of the lack of oxygen. Okay, but we're going to be fine. Oxygen is still falling, but we'll be back any second now. And in terms of, we got like 40 scrap out of that. It wasn't a benefit for us. Actually, Ma Fan is he's our weapons guy, right? Getting into that fight wasn't great, but it also wasn't terrible. We can actually afford to upgrade our engines once more, but I'm not going to do it just yet. I want to get a little bit more scrap first, because we can't actually make good use of that yet anyway. But anyway, so far so good. We're still in the yellow here. I would love to save some scrap to get healed as well. These guys aren't going to give us anything, so we're just going to jump to the next sector. Fairly difficult fight for only Sector 4, but I guess, you know, we are getting to, like, the halfway point of the game and beyond. Man, this is a potentially asshole-ish ship here. So we've got a 3-bar of shield, bomb, triple laser, rock-plated ship, which strikes me as the kind of thing that is the stuff of nightmares. But we're going to see if Artemis lands. Thank God. Now, Burst Laser could be a real lifesaver here if it doesn't miss any. Oh my god. Only missing one is almost worse. So the good thing is, only Fire Beam got taken offline there, which is not terrible. Here comes the Artemis. That's big. Burst Laser could also save us a great deal here if it lands on shields. Enough to at least hurt the shields. We're going to do one more Artemis on shields. I hate to do it, because it seems like a waste of a missile. We actually need to send her back here. But if it takes down shields so that we can send Burst Laser on weapons, then that is definitely worth it. And then Fire Beam will be ready to fire eventually as well. Okay. It's not going to get a chance to fire because we're going to take them down before they actually have the opportunity to get it before we have the opportunity to get it charged up. I wasted a missile there by accident, but hey, enemy ship is dead. We got another 27 scrap, so we're going to close everything up here. And now we can afford to upgrade our engines a little bit more. So now we are up to 25% evade chance. Maybe we want to upgrade our piloting system as well, because doesn't that give us... it gives us auto evasion, which might be useful if we start losing crew members. But for now, I think this is just the way we want to do it. It also makes our FTL drive charge faster, which is better for fights we don't want to get involved in. I believe we do have some stuff to sell at this market here. No, we do not. I'm just going to fix up the hull. as much as I can, which is not very much. But we're still alive. I guess next thing, we're just going to either save our scrap or keep upgrading our engines. Now, we do have a pretty asshole-ish enemy ship here. Again, we're going to do what we've done for a lot of our most recent runs, or most recent encounters, and go after the shields first. And the shields do indeed go down here, which they are going to get hurt at least. We're going to send Burst Laser in to do the dirty work afterwards. Okay, now we can get ready to fire our fire beam like so. And that's going to really rake it over like pretty much every room with a system in it that they have. So we're not going to fire Artemis, we are going to fire Burst Laser, because we really just can't afford to fire Artemis anymore, because we're so low on missiles, or we will be so low on missiles, and we almost had to start thinking about how we're going to use those for the flagship, if we do end up in a situation where that is going to be possible. So I think we're going to Burst Laser on shields again. Oh, never mind, because shields have just been taken out by that fire beam. We're going to go on the piloting system, actually, in order to completely neuter their chances of being able to dodge. I think next we should go for weapons, because they're starting to come back online, but they have pretty much no chance. Weapons are now offline due to the fire. We'll go for the shields next, and that should be enough to do it, actually. Excellent. This fire beam, I don't really like it as a weapon, but it does add kind of a unique playstyle to things, for sure. So let us jump. I mean, there's another 2 stores here. We don't have anything to sell, and we don't really have the opportunity to buy anything. So we get boarded by 2 Rockmen. That is a bad situation. But if we just send all 3 guys in here to the med bay, power that up by depowering, doesn't really matter, but we'll depower 1 engine bar, and then open up like all of these doors here. We should be able to funnel them into a med bay for a fight, I'm thinking. Anyway, I can't believe we haven't got another crew member here. Please don't take out the door systems. Here they go. So they're gonna go, oh no, they're gonna go for the door systems. We need to open up here and hopefully convince them to come into the med bay to fight us. No, no, don't do it. Okay, they're gonna go for the door systems. We have to at least fight them in here for a little while until the oxygen gets lower. Otherwise, if the door systems go down, we're obviously completely screwed. So what we might have to do is actually, as we're dying here, we'll send these guys back into the med bay, and then we'll close all doors and basically just wait for them to come to the med bay. Might take a little while, but I really can't afford for this door system to go down. Actually, while we're over here, we can open up this door to put out the fire. We can come back and repair the door system, and possibly open these doors and just starve them of oxygen while they're taking out our piloting systems. I think this might be the best way to do things. If the door system comes back online, that's obviously good for us. Okay, now these guys are coming in here, which means repairs are going to stop, unfortunately, but at least they stopped very, very close to completion. Oh, Turing, so we want to send back in here, I think. And they're probably going to go after the door system again, which means we're going to go in here and fight them, I guess. And we should probably, again, close all doors just in case they do manage to take out our door system here. So I think we are going to kill the Rockman here. The bad news, of course, is, you know, if there's any sort of fire, we're in a bad situation. We're going to send Mothman in here to fix the piloting system, because that's what we need to get our FTL charged up. And thanks to our engine upgrades, the FTL should charge really quickly once our piloting system is back online. Obviously, we need our door systems to come back online, but really we're mostly just concerned about this fire in here. And probably send Turing back to the pilot bay now, because he is our skilled pilot. Okay, FTL is charging pretty quickly. Let's get everyone back into their designated stations. And we have an imminent solar flare, which might require us to do a little bit more door maneuvering here. As long as it doesn't hit the oxygen room. And the door room is actually pretty bad as well, but at least it's not the oxygen room, right? So we're just going to wait for this to probably die out in a second. I don't want to jump just yet. I realize I have the opportunity. Okay, now we're going to close up. Oxygen level on the ship is pretty low. But we're going to jump over here. So we didn't gain anything from that encounter, which is always the worst part, because you run a pretty significant risk of bad things happening on that condition. However, you know, what are you going to do about it? We're still alive here, and actually doing reasonably well. I can depower medbay and power up our engines again, just to give us that extra 5 or 7% dodge chance. So here comes Artemis. It lands. Come on, Burst Laser, don't let me down here. Okay, so they're totally out in terms of shields. We can just send one more fire beam like so. And I think everything's okay. We don't need to fire Artemis again, although we should, maybe on their weapons. Just because I always forget to do that. And now, having at least taken something offline. There we go. So they're going to surrender. 3 missiles and 24 scrap is pretty good. I'm going to take it. We obviously could have killed them. But I think this was fine. Now, do we want to get 4th bar of shields, or do we want to get another bar of engine power? Oh, man. Well, I definitely wish I didn't jump out here. Anyway, there's not much we can do about it. So we're going to hope for the best again and just get Artemis firing on their shields, and then Burst Laser on shields, then Fire Beam hopefully will, you know, aid the solar flares in taking them out as quickly as possible. Okay, so again, like so. We're going to depower the Artemis shot ability for now. And we're going to send Fire Beam. I would love... They don't have a door control system. But Fire Beam like this should be pretty effective. And we're just going to move Burst Laser to fire on weapons next. And that was actually... That should start fires all over their whole ship. Beautiful. And their missile actually missed. Perhaps due to the amount of engine power I have. As we just continue doing what we're doing here, basically. I think that they are going to find themselves screwed fairly quickly. We're actually in a really good position. Really strong. No fires on our ship. Same probably cannot be said for them as the Fire Beam tears through them. Wait to see what comes next. We're going to fire on shields, of course. Because we really can't afford for those to be up if we're going to continue doing damage. And luckily, the fires that we've been getting hit by have not really been landing in very good locations. From their perspective, anyway. For us, it's been pretty good. We definitely could use some hull repair, though. So maybe that's what I'll do with our last store before we go up to the next level. So this is done. We can now jump. We obviously want to wait for the scrap that we're going to get, so we're up to 94 now. Let's jump to the store. We should at least heal to the yellow, because I don't like being in the red. We're playing with fire. Any missiles could take us out. We do have possibility to buy a drone control unit, but I'm not going to sweat that right now. We're just going to heal like so. And then I think jump to the exit. Hopefully we get a little bit extra scrap here. Upgrade our engines a little bit more. And we'll trade 3 missiles for 5 fuel. I hate to do it, but we're going to do it. And then jump to the next sector. So we're going to go Mantis-controlled sector, because then there's 2 green sectors after that that maybe I can make good use of. Okay. So here we go. We got another store. We might as well drop by, because it's the closest beacon to us. We can at least see what they have for sale. Maybe I'm actually in a position to buy a drone control unit now. I would love the ion bomb as well, though. It requires a missile, does 4 ion damage. We could actually sell Artemis and buy the ion bomb. How much power? Only 1 power required. I think we should sell Artemis and buy the ion bomb here. It seems like pretty much a straight upgrade. So that's beautiful. I like that a lot. We're going to buy some more missiles because we're going to need those. Heal up once. Cool. So we're not going to buy a drone control unit, but I still think that was an awesome get for us. And we'll see how it works out here. I should definitely power it up. Let's ignore the request to move on. I really can't afford to risk crew members here. So everything is powered up except for the med bay, but obviously we can kind of micro-manage our power at that point if we need the med bay. We got a boarding drone and 24 extra scrap. This engine thing is actually working out surprisingly well so far. It might just be luck, it might be kismet, fortuitous, who knows. This is a hell of an enemy ship we're dealing with here. But again, an ion bomb on shields. It is going to... Oh, did not expect that. Okay. So we're not going to be able to charge up as fast as we wanted to here. What we are going to do is basically... I think we're going to depower engines once in a second to get our medbay powered up. And we're going to fight these guys in here. We're just going to open up all this so that the oxygen is going to pour out of this room as soon as possible. And then I think, yes, depower this once, power up the medbay, and we're just going to wait until the oxygen goes out of the... Why is Burst Laser over here in the 3rd slot? That's not what I want. It's going to mess up my key combinations that I've been using. Now we're going to send Ma Fan over here and Felicity over here. The whole reason we did this is just to make sure that they wouldn't have a chance to attack our weapons before the oxygen really started messing with them. So come on, Ion Bomb. It lands. It does crazy damage. I like that a lot. We're going to go with Burst Laser next. Shields are not completely taken out, which blows my mind, but we're going to just continue attacking Burst Laser there. We can probably close all doors now, because I think these guys are just going to, yeah, beam away. Probably a smart idea on their part. We're not going to fire another Ion Bomb just yet. We're going to wait for Burst Laser to possibly land. And with, oh my god, shields are still up somehow. They must be doing great repairs. We're going to send Felicity back down here to shields. You can come back over here to weapons, because that'll charge up our weapons a little bit more quickly. Oh, and we're going to send another ion bomb, actually, on shields, because it missed. Oh my god, okay. Well, here comes the burst laser then. And we missed with a couple of those as well. So we are going to need to use another ion bomb if we're going to get through this. I don't think their ship can actually hurt us. But we'll see. First things first, I think we should actually fire ion bomb before burst laser. Because I think that gives burst laser a better chance to actually land. Perfect. Okay, now burst laser, do your thing. At the very least, we should be able to get a little bit of damage done with fire beam. Yeah, we did manage to hit a couple rooms with it before things all went to hell. Now please just burst laser, don't mess this up for me. Give fire beam a chance to do its thing, and you just distract them here. Again, only hitting once with every 2 shots is not going to be good enough. I depowered the fire beam for a second, or just took its shot offline, basically. We might need to fire another ion bomb in here. This is so frustrating. Okay, so we're going to wait until burst laser's charged up again, and then we're going to do a like 3rd or 4th coordinated assault here. So everything on their ship is healed. Everything on our ship is available. Here comes ion bomb. It lands. It does some damage. Burst laser's time to shine. Fire beam will have a chance to hit a couple things at least. It hit the oxygen room. Maybe we can get lucky there. But really, we just need burst laser to actually hit. There we go. Oxygen's completely taken out. They should die from the inside out, maybe. How did, like, when I hit their shields, it doesn't do enough damage to actually take them out. I don't understand how that's possible. Okay, so again, we're going to try to do a lucky fire beam. Oh my god, here we go again. Okay, they've offered to surrender. They're going to give us 5 missiles, which almost compensates us for our time. And then we're just going to continue jumping. No upgrades to be made just yet. I should really power up our engines again. If they had a missile launcher, that fight could have gone differently. These guys are trying to get away. Oh my god, they have 2 missile launchers and a bomber. So we're obviously going to want to power up our engines as much as possible. And we may indeed just find ourselves wanting to jump away from this fight, because we are going to charge so slowly. And they're probably just going to be able to get away quickly in their own right. So here they come. Thankfully, the missile missed. How about this one? Oh my god, we are the luckiest people alive. Here comes the bomb. So our oxygen's out for a little while. But I guess first things first, we're going to try to burst laser weapons, because I really can't afford for them to get too many more shots of those off. And if we just survive a little bit longer... I mean, we could ion bomb weapons... We could ion bomb shields and then fire beam everything. Yeah, like firebomb like so. And then maybe they won't be able to escape. Our engines are down too, though. We definitely want to close all doors. Should probably send this guy in here to do some repairs. They do have cloaking backup, and they continue to fire bombs at us. This is a pain in the ass. Okay, you in there. Take out enemy weapons, please. Well, it did something. This is a difficult ship to be fighting. Yes, it's going to escape, and to be quite frank, I'm actually glad that it escaped. I'm starting to realize, though, that we might be a little bit underpowered here for where I would rather be at this point. But that's okay. You know, we're on Sector 5. This might not necessarily be a high score, but we're certainly in the vicinity where we could get a high score. If we just get maybe one more weapon. Or, you know, another 3% dodge chance. Who knows? So with engines finally coming back online here. Any second now. There we go. We're going to send you back. We do have... If we have someone in the engine room, it actually raises evade chance another 5%. Well, that might be more beneficial than, like, just buying a crew member and shoving him in the engine room might be more beneficial than spending a lot of money upgrading my engines at this point. So we got a trap. And this ship does not appear that strong. But it all depends where these mantises invade our ship. Oh, it's just a rockman and a mantis, and they invaded literally the worst possible part for them. So again, we're going to drop our ion bomb on enemy shields, which is going to allow us to probably do some substantial damage to them, provided we get this ion bomb out before they actually get a chance to shoot. Or take our weapons down at all. Okay, so their shields are completely down. This is huge for us. We're going to burst laser weapons, and then fire beam, like... Well, actually, we should burst laser shields, and then fire beam everything down here. Like this, maybe? That's okay. I'll live with it. That's going to hit some seriously damaging rooms for them. I just wanted to make sure their shields were, like, permanently down. They're going to go after our oxygen room, which obviously I cannot stand for. And they actually might take it out, so you know what that means. We're going to close all doors, and we're going to send our crew in here to fight them. For at least a little while. If I can just distract them before they manage to kill it, which I did, then we should be okay. So we don't need to fire our ion bomb anymore. We'll fire instead... why are our shields so hurt? That's some nasty ion damage. We'll fire instead burst laser on weapons. And then fire beam should be ready to go fairly soon. Oh, the fire beam actually did just take out their... We should still keep going on weapons. Fire beam did manage to take out their medical bay while I wasn't looking, but that doesn't really help us out too much. We're going to send Ma Fan back in here, if I can select him. Obviously, we're going to send him to the med bay eventually, too. And fire beam is about to fire. I mean, all of those areas are already hurt, but hopefully the fires continue to just ravage them, and then we're going to send another burst laser in on shields, and with shields hopefully going completely down again, we're going to get a good possible fire beam, like here. Teleporter, we could probably do piloting system, teleporter engines, yes. And they're probably trying to escape right now. Unfortunately, 26 scrap, unfortunately for them, 26 scrap is not really enough for me to give this up, so I'm just going to power this up. Already pretending like this fight is over. Just gonna send my dudes into the med bay. Burst laser on the piloting systems, just in case I only hit one. That'll minimize their chances to dodge. But of course I did hit more than one. Beautiful. So we're up to 46 scrap from just that one fight. That's pretty good. And you know, we might at this point want to upgrade a little bit more of our engines. It's gonna cost us 70, but it's gonna give us an extra X% chance. We're gonna have a 32% dodge chance without anybody even being in the room now. So we can get that almost up to... Should go up to 37 if we manage to pick up another crew member at some point. The fact that we're on Sector 5 and haven't even had the option is crazy to me. So we have another Mantis ship. It does not have a teleporter. It does have a pretty substantial laser, though. So what we are going to do is ion bomb on shields, and then we'll get ready afterwards to burst laser, probably on weapons, and fire beam everywhere, because the ship is pretty well concentrated. So they did drop a bomb on a room. Oh, that must be a fire bomb. But at least it was on a room where there were no systems. If that was in our... did the ion bomb miss? That can't happen. Let's try burst laser here. At least hurt them a little bit. We can get one fire beam in here for a second. At least we just started a fire in their shield room in all likelihood. Now, please, I want that fire to be out as soon as possible. Ion bomb. Oh, we should not fire burst laser yet. Close doors. Ion bomb is about to fire, which is a big one for us. Hopefully this lands on shields. It does indeed. And then we can do burst laser, and we'll go for enemy weapons. All three missed. That is kind of unbelievable. But because the ion bomb lasts so long, yeah, the fire beam is going to get a chance to just rake everything there. I said rake everything. And we're going to go for, I guess, enemy weapons next. But we're going to open up this door, obviously, because we can't afford for this fire to spread too much further. Okay, weapons are offline. That's big. Obviously, we're going to go for shields next. We might have to use another ion bomb to make that happen. But I hope not. I think the fire beam... Oh, we are going to have to use another ion bomb to make that happen. Well, we'll see if burst lasers land. And then fire beam actually did its dirty work, or did our dirty work for us. So we can just close all doors on our ship here. And then we will fire burst lasers in on enemy shields. Completely down. Next fire beam will absolutely destroy them. I went for weapons next, obviously, because their ion bomb is recharging. But the fire beam should be enough to just keep these rooms on fire. End their lives. That was a good fight there, actually. We're coming very close to death, though, which worries me. As, you know, it probably should. We do have 60 scrap. Sadly, we have no stores at which to spend it to repair our hull. We're just going to take the free scrap here. We do not have a store. That sucks. We're just going to go straight to the exit because I don't want to get caught by the Rebel Alliance like I did the last two times. Trade 2 missiles for 8 fuel. That seems like a good trade in my books. And we are going to go to Zoltan-controlled sector now. We're on Sector 6. Things are going reasonably well, I would say. Next thing we might want to do is either... pick up a... Well, first we have to heal here for sure. But pick up a crew member if possible. That's an extra 5% chance to dodge. We don't have a crew member here. We have a heavy ion which combined with our ion bomb might be awesome, but we really can't afford all of that, unfortunately. Okay, so this is alright. I'm okay with this situation. We can sell our boarding drone for sure. And maybe we'll save for that 4th bar of shields. And beyond that, if we find a crew member, that's awesome. If we have to buy one, that's cool too. The extra 5% chance to dodge is worth it, given what we'd have to give up. So these guys have a lot of... I don't even know what that weapon on the far right of their ship is. That might be a glaive beam or something. But certainly they have 4 laser shots, so they have the potential to do a lot of damage to us here. Oh man, a lot of damage to us here as we come in here and try to fix our weapons. We might as well use Fire Beam because I think it'll take down their energy shield. At least, yeah, it took it down enough. And then I think we should, as soon as Burst Laser's charged up, we need to use... Oh man, this is not good. Where are you going? We need to use Ion Bomb on enemy shields, I think. We might have been better off using that earlier. But let's drop Ion Bomb on the shields right now. This Fire Beam is going to be charged soon anyway. Okay, so they're going to get a lot of shots off here. Luckily, none of them hit us in the weapons. So we're going to Fire Beam like all of their useful stuff like this. And that should start some good fires. And starting them in like different regions across the ship. So I feel like that's going to hurt them more. We should probably... I was gonna say go for enemy weapons, but I guess we're going for shields first. Here comes the Ion Bomb. Did not miss, which is very important. Now we can stop firing that because I don't want to waste any more missiles. We really need to get this oxygen back up soon. Thank God I healed our ship a little bit, or we would probably be dead right now. Shields are very hurts, and we really need to hit weapons. I cannot keep forgetting about that. And are we seriously in a position where we're going to want to use Ion Bomb again in a second? I'm not happy about that. Okay, weapons are offline. Oxygen is almost fixed. Why are these guys so slow at repairs? Never worked a day in their life. And Fire Beam's doing its dirty work, doing our dirty work for us. We don't want to fire Fire Beam just yet. We want to get the shields down first, and then we'll fire it. I can't help but feel that our time here is coming to an end, though. Let's just take a Fire Beam like so. And that should cause enough problems that they'll just die naturally. I'm guessing. Like, if one more fire hurts a system room or causes a breach, then they should die. But I guess Burst Laser is just going to do it for us anyway. So we pick up 44 scrap there. That's pretty huge, actually. We're going to go back to the store because we need to heal at least, you know, up to 50% or 40%. So let's do that. That's pretty good. We still have 77 scrap. And I guess we'll come through this way. I really want to avoid that nebula, if I can. And we have a very, very scary enemy ship here. But, yeah, they have a lot of lasers as well as a missile launcher. Again, same thing we always do. Ion Bomb on the enemy shields. And these guys are going to come in the worst way they could possibly go because the med bay is just going to basically stop all their progress. But here we go. Let's keep these doors open. Our shields have been hurt a little bit, so we should probably send this guy back in here. And we're going to Ion Bomb on shields. Like so. And then now here's where the fun starts. Like this. Okay. So we're going to see if this works. Now our weapons are offline, so we have kind of a terrible situation on our hands. We haven't lost all of our weapons, though. We've only lost some of them. And they're going after our door control system, which makes this a huge pain in the ass. We might actually die here. I don't know. This is going to be close. Our door systems are out. So it's all basically up to these guys, what they choose to do. But hopefully we get a Fire Beam fired before... Okay, enemy shields are going to come back online. So what we have to do is fire that Ion Bomb. It's going to take their shields down. Now we've got another Fire Beam coming in here, which will continue to wreck their existing setup. We've got to charge Burst Laser up. Probably do not need to do any more Ion Bombing. Their weapons are totally offline. So they can still hurt us, obviously. But we want to come back around here. And maybe Burst Laser on shields. Just keep those permanently offline. Okay, they're in the red now. And then we'll maybe go for... Well, I mean, they're going to... I think they've already taken everybody off of our ship. There's another Fire Beam. We probably should have aimed that elsewhere. But it doesn't really matter at this point. And they're going to give us 8 missiles for surrender, which is worth it in my books. Okay, now we need to fix some stuff. Because shit got a little rough there. So we're going to come in here, fix the medbay. Obviously, the door system is going to be a #1 priority for us as well. With 105 scrap, we're closing in on that 4th bar of shields. And I'd say overall this run is going fairly well. It's an above average Kestrel run for sure. Again, we got to be closing in on like an hour now. But part of that is due to the frame rate as well. But let's take this down. We've got Felicity healing up here. Sensors will be back up in a second. Send Ma Fan up here. You, like so. Close doors. Okay. And we're good to go. I still can't believe that we have not come across... Oh, he's our pilot, actually. I still can't believe that we have not come across a 4th crew member at any point here. Seems crazy to me. We almost have to go back to the store and keep healing our hull, but we can't afford to do that ad infinitum, so we might as well make the break now. We tried to participate in the Zoltan study, but as usual, they fucked us. So let's depower medbay, power up our engines, because they do have a missile launcher, and start opening up these doors. I don't know how this one's going to work out. They've got an awful lot of dudes. And that frightens me. We're basically just going to abandon ship on this side. And keep these doors open. They can have their pick of what sectors they want to attack. Too bad. We're going to ion bomb on enemy shields, and hopefully their missile doesn't actually land on our weapons. So these guys are going to be hurt. We're actually going to open up all these doors too, because I don't want them to attack our weapon systems. And we're going to fall back into like the oxygen room over here. And hopefully ion bomb is about to fire. Okay, so they're trying to escape now. That's really good for us, because it means they're not going to be going after our weapons. Did ion bomb? It missed. Oh my god, that's terrible. Okay, so let's try burst laser. That hit enough to actually get to the point where fire beam can fire and at least do a little damage. Alright, so it hit shields and weapons. That's really the most important sectors for us anyway. All of the enemies... Oh, that's real bad. That is real bad now. Okay, so we're going to close up all these doors. The reason being, we've really got to stop that fire as soon as possible in the weapons room. So we've got to kill this dude. And then get in there and fix that. Because only ion bomb remains. And we don't really want to fire it right now. Okay, so that guy should be dead. Thank you. Get in here. Fix the weapons up as soon as possible. And we'll have ion bomb ready to fire, at least. But we really need this to be fixed faster because their enemy missiles are going to be coming in. Oh, man. If that one didn't miss, we could have found ourselves in a terrible spot. Okay, now we have ion bombs. So we'll get this ion bomb out. It lands. Now we go on weapons. Please hit. This is a very important... Oh, my God. I forgot that burst laser hadn't charged up yet. It's going to be close. It's going to be very, very close here. Here we go. We did hurt the weapons, at least. You need to go back to the shields room if we're going to have a chance here. Fire beam needs to start charging up. Ion bomb on shields again. Don't hurt me. Oh, it took us down. Finally, that was a decent run, though. Let's see how that ranks on the high scores. So I think the engine thing was a good tip. I don't think I would have gotten nearly as far if I didn't have that. 21-16. Well, we're not even on the ship best. We're not even close to the top scores. But that was a good run nonetheless. And as always... Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time.